How on earth does a team score 8 goals in just 3 games, yet still manage to lose 2 of them? And on the flip side, can you actually win a high-stakes World Cup knockout match when your biggest, most explosive attacking stars literally cannot play a full 90 minutes? Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving straight into this definitive tactical explainer, where we are breaking down an absolutely massive July 1st, 2026 World Cup Round of 32 clash. We're heading to the stunning Seattle Stadium, and let me tell you, the atmosphere is going to be electric. The stakes here couldn't be any higher. We've got a true heavyweight clash of styles on our hands. It's the European powerhouse, Belgium, with a golden generation desperately searching for ultimate validation, taking on the fierce, reigning African champions, Senegal. This is so much more than just a game. It's a fascinating tactical puzzle, filled with high-octane attacks, vulnerable defensive setups, and honestly, some unbelievable off-pitch drama. We're going to look at their group stage performances, current form, critical missing personnel, and what the objective AI predictions are saying. And by the very end of this explainer, I'm going to give you our definitive exact score prediction. Let's get right into it.
So going back to that first crazy question I just asked, how exactly does a team score 8 goals in 3 games but lose twice? Well, that is the wild, chaotic paradox of Senegal's journey out of Group I. They are the definition of a roller coaster squad right now. They suffered incredibly tough 3-1 and 3-2 defeats against France and Norway. In those matches, we saw some highly uncharacteristic defensive lapses. I mean, moments of just lost focus where they left massive gaping holes at the back. But then, when their tournament lives were hanging by an absolute thread, what did they do? They exploded. They completely thrashed Iraq 5-0 with pure, unadulterated attacking brilliance to just sneak into the knockouts as one of the best third-place teams. They are unpredictable, they are dangerous, and they are incredibly fun to watch.
And then we have the second massive question hovering over this matchup. Can you win when your stars are physically compromised? This is the absolute nightmare scenario that Belgium's manager Rudi Garcia is waking up to in cold sweats. Key difference makers, guys who can change a game in a split second like Romelu Lukaku and Jeremy Doku, are severely limited by injuries and fitness concerns. Belgium has a massive fitness crisis brewing exactly at the moment they need their full roster to break down an incredibly physical opponent like Senegal. So what we have here is an amazing overarching narrative conflict. You've got Senegal's defensive chaos on one side and Belgium's ticking fitness time bomb on the other. It's incredibly compelling.
Now, when we start looking at the raw numbers, the contrasting journeys of these two teams become crystal clear. Let's look at Belgium first. They topped Group G with 5 points, remaining completely undefeated. It's a highly methodical, controlled approach. They scored 6 goals, only conceded 2, giving them a really solid +4 goal difference. Sure, they were a little slow out of the gates, battling to draws against Egypt and a very stubborn 10-man Iran squad, but they were professional. They got the job done. Then you look at Senegal. They barely scraped by with just 3 points. 1 win, 2 losses. 8 goals for, but a staggering 6 goals against. To put that into perspective, they are bleeding goals almost as fast as they can score them. It creates a completely different, high-wire risk profile for this match.
Let's transition over to their recent form over the last 5 official matches. This really helps us understand the momentum they're bringing to Seattle. Look at the very first result for both of these teams. Belgium is coming off an absolute 5-1 thrashing of New Zealand. In that game, Leandro Trossard scored a brilliant clinical brace. It showed everyone that this Belgian side has finally found their attacking rhythm after those frustrating early tournament draws. Senegal, meanwhile, is riding the massive high of that life-saving 5-0 demolition of Iraq. Their forwards completely dominated the penalty box in that game. So both of these teams are walking into this do-or-die knockout match having just scored 5 goals in their previous game. The psychological confidence for the attackers on both sides right now, it is absolutely through the roof. So how do Rudi Garcia and Pape Thiaw actually set their teams up to play? It is a total clash of footballing philosophies which we love to see. Belgium, under Garcia, utilizes a very structured 4-2-3-1 system. It's all about patient possession. They rely on Amadou Onana and Yuri Tielemans to control the center of the park, which then allows Kevin De Bruyne the complete freedom to orchestrate those methodical, surgical attacks. On the flip side, you have Senegal playing this aggressive 4-3-3. They don't care about patient possession. They want a high, physical press. And the reason this works so beautifully against possession-based teams is that by aggressively pressing Onana and Tielemans, Senegal can force rush passes and completely sever the supply line to De Bruyne. Interestingly, Thiaw has had to deal with a ton of off-pitch drama, including a 5-month unpaid salary dispute that was literally resolved by the state president right before the tournament. But somehow, on the pitch, his team channels all that noise into pure, unbridled intensity.
And that high intensity leads us directly into the biggest tactical headache for both managers right now, the severe personnel crisis. Senegal has suffered an absolutely devastating blow. Their star goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy, is completely out with severe knee trauma he picked up against Norway. You guys, this isn't just losing a great shot stopper. Mendy is their vocal leader. He's their defensive organizer. Losing him is a massive psychological blow to the entire backline. But Belgium has massive issues of their own at the back. Young center back Nathan Ngoy is suspended after picking up a straight red against Iran, and Zeno de Bast is out with an injury. Up top for Belgium, as we mentioned, Jeremy Doku's not fit for 90 minutes because of a recent illness, and Romelu Lukaku is strictly limited to a maximum of 60 minutes as he recovers. Both managers are being forced into incredibly dangerous, high-stakes compromises right now.
Which brings us to how these specific tactical setups actually generate their chances on the pitch. Belgium has taken a staggering 73 shots in just 3 games. 35 of those came against New Zealand alone. They rely on an overwhelming volume of chance creation through sustained, heavy pressure. Senegal, on the other hand, sits at 50 shots. Now, 50 shots in 3 games is still a very high number, but the context here is completely different. They aren't getting these shots from long, drawn-out spells of sustained build-up play. Instead, Senegal relies heavily on rapid counterattacks and forcing turnovers high up the pitch. When they win that ball back in dangerous areas, they just explode forward. They rely on highly clinical transition moments rather than grinding the opponent down with endless passing sequences.
This precise contrast in style brings us to a quote that perfectly summarizes the absolute biggest fear for Belgian fans right now. Belgium's aging, slow defensive line against Senegal's rapid transition attacks is the ultimate tactical mismatch. With Ngoy suspended, Belgium is most likely going to have to pair Brandon Mechele and Arthur Theat at the back. Don't get me wrong, they are incredibly smart, highly positional players, but they are absolutely not fast. Now, I want you to imagine Sadio Mane, Nicola Jackson, and Ismail Assar, literally 3 of the fastest, most direct and explosive attackers in this entire tournament, ruthlessly targeting to vast open spaces behind those slow-footed defenders on a counterattack. It is a completely terrifying prospect for the European side.
Quick pause here, everyone. If you are absolutely loving this deep dive into the tactical data and match dynamics so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on those notifications so you never miss an explainer from us, and smash the like button to help the channel grow. More importantly, I really want to hear from you. Drop your exact score prediction for Belgium versus Senegal down in the comments below right now. And while you're at it, let me know what other World Cup matchups or topics you want us to analyze next. Our community completely drives the topics on this channel, so get down in the comments, have your voice heard, and let's keep this conversation going.
All right, let's jump back in and look at the objective data. We ran all the numbers through our AI probability models and combined that with international betting market consensus to get a really clear picture of what's going to happen. The AI gives Belgium a 51% chance to win in normal time. Senegal sits at 22%, but I really want you to look closely at that draw percentage, a massive 27% probability for this game to go to extra time. That is unusually high for a knockout game that has a clear favorite on paper. What that tells us is that the data models deeply respect Senegal's physical resilience. And remember, if this match drags into 120 minutes of grueling extra time, Belgium's fitness crisis with key players like Lukaku and Doku goes from being a concern to a critical, potentially fatal liability. That heavily favors Senegal's endurance.
Validating that exact fear of a long, drawn-out battle is the betting consensus on goals. Both teams to score is heavily favored right now at 1.96 odds. Remember, international betting syndicates risk millions and millions of dollars on these metrics, so their confidence here is highly indicative of what the match's true reality will be. They are looking at Senegal missing their defensive anchor in Edouard Mendy, and then they are looking at Belgium missing Nathan Ngoy while fielding a painfully slow defensive line. When you have 2 incredibly potent attacking units facing off against 2 compromised, leaky defenses, the math becomes very simple for the odds makers. The net is almost certainly going to bulge on both ends of the pitch.
So, taking all of this into account, let's map out the most probable chronological flow of this match. When you're watching this game on July 1st, here is exactly what you should be looking out for. Step 1. Expect Senegal to come out absolutely flying right from the first whistle. They will utilize early, intense physical pressing to try and force that slow Belgian defense into a catastrophic, game-altering error early on. Step 2. Look for the 30-minute mark to be the moment Belgium finally takes a breath and settles into the game. Kevin De Bruyne will start dropping deeper, get his foot on the ball, and use his elite, world-class passing range to calm the storm and dictate the tempo. Step 3. The final 25 minutes. This is where the game is going to violently open up. Fatigue will inevitably set in for Senegal's high-pressing midfield, and those game-changing substitutes will finally enter the fray.
And that late-game phase brings us directly to the ultimate breaking point of this match. Senegal's fatal weakness is tactical indiscipline. As they start to tire out, they naturally leave massive, exploitable gaps between their defense and their midfield. You combine that with backup keeper Mori Diaw, who, let's be honest, severely lacks Mendy's authoritative, commanding presence in the penalty box. Now, I want you to match that specific weakness against Belgium's ultimate weapon. Because Jeremy Doku can't play 90 minutes, Rudy Garcia is going to hold him back. Imagine a totally fresh, explosive Jeremy Doku with his devastating one-on-one dribbling ability and raw, blazing pace entering the pitch in the 65th minute. He is going to run directly at an exhausted, disjointed Senegalese defense. It is an absolute recipe for disaster for Senegal.
Taking all the data, the critical injuries, the tactical matchups, and our AI models into account, we have to make a definitive call here. It is incredibly tight. The margins for error between these two heavyweight squads are razor thin. But based on the sheer depth of their bench and their proven ability to change the game late when legs get heavy, here is our definitive final score prediction. We project a narrow 2-1 victory for Belgium in normal time.
Let me break down exactly why we think this plays out as a 2-1 Belgian win to wrap up our analysis. First off, Senegal absolutely will score. Sadio Mane and Nicolas Jackson's sheer, unadulterated pace is just way too much for Belgium's slow center backs to handle for a full 90 minutes without eventually making a mistake. They are going to execute a transition perfectly at least once. However, on the other side, without Edouard Mendy back there marshalling the defense, Senegal's box organization is going to suffer fatal moments of chaos. Leandro Trossard, who is currently in elite finishing form, will absolutely punish those unchecked spaces. And finally, the masterstroke. Jeremy Doku's late entry off the bench will completely shatter a physically drained Senegalese side. We think he provides the decisive assist or goal that ultimately sends the Red Devils through to the quarterfinals.
But hey, as we all know, football isn't played on a spreadsheet, right? Did the AI in our tactical breakdown get this exactly right? Or is this fierce, incredibly proud Senegal squad destined to overcome their defensive issues, drag this absolute dogfight into extra time, and shock the world in Seattle? Do you think Moni's pace will just overwhelm them early before Belgium even has a chance to adapt? Let's get a passionate debate going in the comments section down below right now. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us for this explainer. Don't forget to like the explainer, subscribe to the channel, and let me know exactly which game you want us to break down next. I will see you all in the next explainer.